Hi, my name is Jennie Löfgren and I'm a film music composer. I come from a family with a lot of music. My father was a musician, so music has always been a part of my life. I started playing the piano at a very young age. I don't even remember when. And then I started singing, and later I became an artist. I worked really hard to get a record contract and all that. I wrote some songs that became hits, and I made some money, and I bought my first studio. That's where I really felt most at home. I worked a lot behind, like writing songs for other artists and doing production and stuff like that. And that led me into an opportunity where I could be a part of writing film music. And I was so happy I took the chance, because I think the chance that I had been waiting for my entire life. I dreamed about doing film music, but for some reason I never saw it as an opportunity. Maybe because you don't see that many women writing film music, even today. So I just saw these guys with beards or old men, they were film music composers, and it felt so far away. But then once I got to try it and I got the chance, it was really like coming home for me. I loved it. The difference between writing a pop song and writing a film music composition is that a pop song has a certain structure. It begins like maybe a hook, verse, hook, middle eight, whatever. With film music, it's not like that. You have to watch what's going on in the movie and you have to adjust to that. So a scene might start off really happy and hopeful, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong and it becomes sad. You have to follow that. It's not like a concept like with songs, it has a certain way and there's a lot of melody. With film music, I think you have a theme, but the melody of the theme isn't all the time. It's more like layers of chords and moods and stuff like that. I think every composer wants to use the orchestra, but it's not always the case that you can, because it costs a lot. But I always use real instruments, so maybe I will use like sample strings, and then depending on the budget I will always bring in people, maybe it's just like a violin or something. Some human has to play on everything that I do. I like the mix. So even if I do record a real orchestra, I will still put some like bass synthesizer or something underneath it just to make it like really fat. I don't think there has to be any rules about that. You can just go with your own instinct. I don't really rely on inspiration anymore. I think that's something you might do in the beginning. You sit under a moon and you wait for some inspiration, but if I have like a few days to write the entire episode of a TV show, it's impossible for me to wait for inspiration. So just go into the studio and start working. That's how I get inspired, because you always come up with a little thing and that leads to the next thing. So I never wait for inspiration. The trick to evoke emotion is different from time to time. You can't have like one trick that will work, because it totally depends on the scene you're working with. Sometimes you have to go like with the emotion of a scene, and sometimes you have to go against it. You have to try, you have to play with it, because you will feel when it's there. A really good thing to do when you're learning how to write film music is to, if you find a clip that you like with two actors talking, no music, you download it and then you write something to that part. First you try to make it scary, then you try to make it happy, and then you try to make it sad. And just see how you can like really work with the mood of music and still make it work with the actors talking at the same time. Sometimes when I meet people that want to write film music and they want to show me something that they've done, they tend to like go into the style of, you know, big orchestra, John Williams, Star Wars. That's very rare that you get to work with that kind of music, like John Williams' huge style. I've never had the chance to make music like a big Star Wars movie. It's not that common, and it's not that modern even, I think. Try to do something that sounds like you. What are you about? Like, what do you do the best? Try to find what's unique in you instead of being like a copycat that tries to sound like Star Wars. I think most of my jobs come through contacts. Sometimes I mail people that I admire and I write like, I want to work with you. And then I write to them every year until they're so fed up with me that they actually work with me. That has happened. If I really like someone, it's like, just go ahead, just make contact, just try to do it that way. You've got nothing to lose, really.